Assalamu alaikum and good day, everyone. For those who had joined me in the morning session, welcome back. And for those who just participated and this is your first session, well, thank you for joining. Today we are going to look into a topic about engaging student using Google Sheet. Well, for those of you who just joined, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Shahriza Mat Sharif. You can call me Dr. Shah or Shah. I'm a lecturer at the Faculty of Fisheries and Food Science, and my field is on fish genetics. You can contact me using my handphone number 019-286-7794, and you can email me to my formal email address shahriza@umt.edu.my, or you can email me to my personal Gmail address shahrizamatSharif@gmail.com. Well, today we are going to look into Google Sheet. I will give some brief introduction about what Google Sheet is. Then we will see how to create a Google Sheet file. We'll go into one activity, and if we have the time, we'll go into the next second activity. Now, at the end of this course, participants should be able to explain the function and usage of Google Sheet in teaching and learning, especially online, and also create tasks and collaborate online using Google Sheet. Now, we all know in online learning, it is quite different from having students in the classroom. So how you engage with a student where they are located everywhere, but as though that you are together with them in the class. Now, before we proceed further, I would like to highlight again the learning pyramid. Based on these figures, we know that average retention rate of student is higher in their learning when they are able to discuss, practice by doing, or teach others, peer learning. So because of this, you need to have a mixture of lectures and also activities. So while you're doing online lectures or discussion using WebEx or Zoom, we can also vary our presentation having some activities. Now, I know most of you are familiar with a lot of web tools. Among them is the one that I have showed here in my slide. But there is another tools that you can also use, that is Google Sheet. Now, Google Sheet is actually a document similar to Microsoft Excel. But the only thing is, it is online, it can be shared because it is online, and it can be used for collaborative work. So Google Sheet enables us to create a collaborative activities among students when we were engaging through online classes with them. You can use to assign tasks. You can even use to create content. I will show you how. Example of one of my tasks with a student in one of my classes. And you can also develop an exercise sheets. While you're having an online session with them, you can give to them an exercise in which they can do using Google Sheet. Well, let's move on into our next activity. I'm going to show you how to create a Google Sheet file, and then we'll move into an activity. Well, before that, I just want to give you some introduction regarding the task. First, what we need to do is we need to open Google Chrome. Then we'll go into google.com, sign in using your either personal Gmail if you have, and if for you who have access to Google Apps using institutional address, you can use that. Okay, let me close my PowerPoint slide and we'll straight on go to this Google. Now I close. Let us move into Google Chrome. Now if you open Google Chrome and you go into Google, you can sign in at the top right area here. Like me, I'm using my personal Gmail. So if you logged in, you will have an icon here showing that you are logged in. If you look next to your login icon, you can see this 9 square icon. Now, there are two ways for you to create a Google Sheet document. One is through this method. Click this icon. It will open up to various Google apps. You scroll down and you can see an icon showing this is for Google Doc, this is for Google Sheet, and this is for Google Slide. So you click this Google Sheet. So this will bring you to a Google Sheet document. Now, in order to open, the Google Sheet will ask you whether you want to open a blank document or you want to open from a various template that is already given by them. Now, for this session, just click in at the blank. So we want to open a blank document. When you open up a blank document, this is what you will see, the interface, right? Now let me explain a bit. The top left corner here is where you put the name of your file. When you first open, it will have this untitled spreadsheet. So what we need to do is we can name the file. I'm just putting a capital letter A so that it will appear the topmost in our folder. So I put here A testing 1. Now the thing, when you open up and you do any editing, Google Sheet will automatically saved into the cloud. So this is how do you going to rename. If you look at the top right corner here, you can see there's a share button. Now, if you were to create a document for you to collaborate, this is where you need to click. Now, I will show you later here, but in this, the first part, I will just show to you how to create a Google Sheet document. Now, when you open up through the apps, like I showed to you just now, where do you think the file will appear in your Google Drive? Now, let me show you. When you open like that, now in this Google web, if you have logged in, click on this 9 button icon. You go to your drive. Click on this drive. It will open up your Google Drive. Now, when you open or create a document from that particular Google Sheet icon, it will appear in your main folder. I will scroll down. See, the name A testing 1 appeared, and it is appeared in your main drive. If you want to move them into different drive, so you can just click here, highlight, click on the right mouse button. You can see there's an instruction asks you to move. Okay, assuming that I want to move into my folder for this session. So I said move, then Google will ask you where. So I want to move into Google UMT 2020 and UMT Remote Learning. And then I'll click move here. So now you cannot see anymore A testing 1 file appeared in your main drive. So if you go to the one that I have moved, UMT Remote Learning, Now you can see a testing file has already been moved into this folder. So this is one way for you to create Google Sheet document. Now let me close this. How would you create in another way? Now, assuming that you open up Google. Okay, let's say I go to google.com here. Just now I showed to you method number one is you click this icon, scroll down, click on the Google Sheet icon. That is method number one. Now the second method is you can straight away go to your Google Drive, click again this icon, the 9 square icon, go to your Google Drive. Okay, now assuming that now in this method you can straight away assign where you want this file to be open or to be saved. I can straight away go to Google UMT, assuming that I go here, move up a little bit. Oh. Okay, and I want to open up in this folder UMT Remote Learning. Now when you see here, I'm open up, I've gone into my main drive, go into my subfolder Google UMT 2020, and I go into another subfolder UMT Remote Learning. So when I am here, what you can do is you click on this top left button where you see this colorful plus sign with a new word around here. So click, you will be brought into a list of action, folder, file upload, folder upload, Google Doc, Google Sheet, Google Slide. Open up this one. You can select blank spreadsheet or you can create from a template. But for this exercise, we want to create a blank spreadsheet. So click here. Okay. It will open up a new document. Again, rename this file. Just now, from my first example, I renamed the file as A testing 1. Now I want to rename it as A testing 2. So it is already renamed into this name. So let's go back again to our Google Drive. Now, did you see? The file has been created in this A testing A in the My Drive, in the subfolder Google UMT, and in this subfolder UMT Remote Learning. So if you open up using the Google Sheet, you need to move your file into a folder that you desired, because it will straight away open up into your main drive. If you open up using your Google Drive, that means from here, and you click this one, go to Google Sheet, it will open up to where you are located right now. Just now I showed to you, I want to go into Google UMT subfolder and into UMT Remote Learning. So I make sure I'm here first, then only I click this button to create the Google Sheet file. Alright, I hope all of you are clear with this two methods of creating a Google Sheet document. Now let's go into the Google Sheet itself. Now from now on, I will show to you from this file, A testing 2. If you see in this interface, there is a file. It looks similar like Google, like the Microsoft Excel. You go to File, you can see here. You can make a copy. You can download Either you download into Microsoft Excel or into a PDF form or into as a web page. You can even email your document as an attachment. Okay, let me show you. Assuming that I make some table here. Okay, I make some table. I just want to type in testing or maybe table 1. Table 1, right? Assuming that I want to email. So I can just click here, email as attachment. So this platform will appear here, this interface. You can attach it either as PDF or as Microsoft Excel file, assuming that you want to email. So you don't need to open up your email web in order to select and upload. You can just straight away from there. And to whom? Assuming that I want to email to my formal email address here. So subject, message, I can put here, this is a test to email a Google Sheet file. Okay, then I can send a copy. You click here, it will automatically send to the respective email address. Apart from that, you have this version history. Now, this version history, any editing, addition things that you do, it will be recorded, starting from you create this file up until the final one. So if it so happened that somebody deleted some data when you do collaborative work, assuming that when you ask the student to collaborate, everybody is putting their data and suddenly some of the student accidentally delete, you can just go back to the version history, select which history of the action of the data was made. So you won't lose anything. Google will save all those action that has been made. And again, from here, you can select move. If you were to move from one folder to another, so you don't need to go into Google Drive. You just select from here. If you say you want to move to another place, you can move. If you don't want, like for me, I just want to keep it in this subfolder, I just maintain. So you can see you don't need to open up another section just to give an instruction. You can just move from here. And you can also move to trash if you want. Edit is just the same as any Microsoft Excel for cut, paste, delete rows. View, this is the same function to freeze some rows, okay, to show formula. You can insert rows, columns, charts, image, drawing, form. Okay, this is if you want to insert a Google form, even a function, and also insert a link. Format is for you to format some of the text that you want, right? And the data is for you, sometimes you want to sort, you want to create a filter. I will show you afterward in one example how to do this. And you have also the tools, how to create a form, and some add-ons that you can add in later. Well, so this is what Google Sheet is about. All right. Now, again, before we go to our next activity, I just want to highlight you have two ways of opening up the file. Either you open up using your Google Drive, select here and select this Google Sheet, but make sure go to the folder that you want to open up the file first. Another way is you click this 9 icon button, go straight away to Google Sheet. But remember, when you open from here, the file will be located in your main Google Drive. So you need to move it if you want to place it in another location. Okay, so I stop here for a while for any question in the chat, and after this we will move along to look into our second activity. Okay, let me open this. All right, I'm going to share with you this file. Okay. I'm going to set this so that everyone can edit. Right? I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste this in the chat. Okay, so everybody please do this. Right, let us go to our first activity. We go first to this activity, then I'll give an introduction about Google Sheet. Okay, this is a sheet where you need to go to this website first, which I have created a link at the Animal Top Speed. Okay, so fill up, put in your nickname because I don't want somebody else to accidentally put on the same line or the same column. Okay, we give about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, we try to settle this. So what you need to do is you put in your nickname. When you go to the website, okay, find the top speed for the animal. There are altogether about 68 animals coming from different categories: land, air, water, and insect. And you put inside there their top speed. Yes. Okay, Haifa, Daus has already put in. And find some information regarding that animal from any website and post the URL website on the last column. Okay, we'll give you a few minutes for all of you to settle.
Busong ơi. Được ấy.
All right, now we stop until here for a while for this activity number 1. Now I would like to explain what participants were doing just now. Okay, In this exercise, I've linked this file, task 1, Google Sheet 2020, to all the participants. Okay, I would like to highlight again how I share this. On this top right section, there is a share button here. If you click share, it will give you a link and you can select. Let's say you want the student to collaborate together, so you must make sure that the file can be edited. If you want to just ask them for comment, then you select can comment. In this selection, they can only make comments, but they cannot edit the data. And if you put in link as can view, that means they can just view, they cannot make any comments, and they cannot even edit. But just now, when I shared to all participants, I put there can edit, and I copied this. You can even email to other parties as well, and make sure that your setting here, either you want them to be able to edit or comment, or only can view. Now, it's done. As I've told you earlier just now, I wanted to show you how to share the file. Once I've shared the file, the respective participant has the chance to read this. Now, this is what I showed an example just now in my slide, that one of the things Google Sheet can do is to create collaboration and also as an exercise sheet for the student to do the activity. So here, I put in the task and I also link with one website. You see, when you click this one, in order to add link, you can just type this thing, the word, go to this section here where you have this icon, the chain icon, and you can click insert link. Then you can paste the website of the section that you want them to go to. Then you just click apply. So when the student or participants right now click this, they can go. So now they are going to this section. I've asked the participant to go here and to find some information, and they need to put in inside here. So what you saw just now is everybody is collaborating, putting the information. Now what I do is I'm trying to sort this. We can sort trying to see the highest to the lowest to highest, or you can sort them from highest to lowest. Then from here you can make a discussion with them, further discussion regarding the task that you gave. All right. And in this exercise, I also asked participants to get other information from any web sources and paste the link here. So this is what the student do. So I've showed to you how a task can be given, content can be created, and this content can be used as a reference for all the students to share. Right? So this is my explanation for activity number 1. Now, my next activity is I'm trying to show to all participants. I'm opening up one file here, task 2 Google Sheet. Now, what Google Sheet can do to assist students in their presentation. Now, maybe we don't have time, so I just make an explanation from here. I've given here a table showing the data of 15 samples and their performance. So using tools just similar to Microsoft Excel, you can make an average. See, you can put in the formula to calculate. Now, what I would like to show to you is how these data can be linked to any other documents. Let's say that I would like to create a chart. So I select this. I want to create a chart of this 15 sample. I highlight this section here, then insert, I go to chart, and I click this one. So a chart will be created, and I can adjust this if I were to do different types of chart. Now let's say I want to change this one. I don't want to be this format. I want to be in this format where you have sample 1, performance 1, 2 and 3 for 15 samples. If you look here, the chart is created within the same sheet. Now how do I move into a new sheet? You have this 3 button here. Sorry. If you go click at the chart, you can see this 3 button around here. If you click this, you can assign this chart to move to its own sheet. So I can press this. If you can see here, it has moved into its own sheet. Now, what I would like you to participant to see is, you see everybody has this complete sets of the data for the 3 performance. Now look at sample number 1. It only has 2, performance 2 and also for performance 3. Why? Because if you look at this sample, performance 1 is 0. So you see here 0, 12 and 9. That is why if you look into the chart, 12 and 9. Now what happened if I were to adjust this to 12? See, the chart will automatically update it into 12. So you don't need to adjust to create a new chart. It is automatically linked. And another thing that you can do is, you can copy this chart, go to this section here, click copy chart, assuming that you want the student to make a presentation of the analysis, the task that you give in which they need to analyze and they need to present. Now I'm using one of the PowerPoint just to show you. I want to paste inside this section, or maybe I can show to you how to open up a Google Slide form. Now you Google Slide file. You click here, go to Google Slide, click form a template. Now you are opening up a Google Slide file. Click blank because you want to open up a blank file. Now I want to paste the file, the sheet over here. Let's say I remove this, and I remove this. I put it a name. Let's say chart 1, and it is located in UMT remote learning folder. And I press Ctrl V. Oh, sorry. Go to here and I paste. When you click, you press Ctrl V, it will come out this, the action. So you can make sure that the chart is linked to your spreadsheet, and you paste. So now you have the chart paste on your Google Slide file, a PowerPoint version of the Google. Okay, look again at this sample number 1 here. Now, if you look at this table and the chart, it has this 12, performance 2, 12, performance 3, 9. And you look here, this is what you get. Now, if I were to change this data and make it back into, let's say 3, now you can see the chart from 12 reduced to 3, already updated. What happened in the Google Slide if I were to do that? It's still there, but it will come out an icon to ask you to update. If you click this update, you can see that the chart already automatically adjusted. So you don't need to copy and paste a new chart. So student can prepare a presentation by only adjusting on the main spreadsheet. So this is among the way why Google Spreadsheet can be used for collaborative work and also tasks where students can work together, students can prepare their own presentation and submit to you. Another thing that I would like to highlight is that when you use Google Sheet or even Google Doc or Google Slide, Google will record any editing that you have made and it makes a version of it. Now let me show you one example here. Remember the previous activity that has been done by all participants? Now, it started off with an empty table, and then when the task was given, everybody keeps on putting the data. Now, assume that some of the data has been deleted when the latest version was done. So how do you revert back to the original one? You can go here, this file section, click, there is a version history over here. Now you can look at the previous version history. You click, Google will go, and you can see here, if assuming that this is the session, you can also track whoever, in your case, students who did this editing. And if let's say you want to go back to the original one, you can just click to the previous version and it will start back from zero. If you want to maintain this, go to this top icon here, restore this version, and you can click and it will maintain this version. If not, you can just maintain the current version. Well, I guess that's about it that I would like to highlight regarding the use of Google Sheet for engaging your students when you're doing online session with them. I hope that you gain some benefits out of this, and please apologize for any shortcomings from me. And until we meet again, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for participating. With that, Assalamu alaikum, until we meet again. Thank you very much.